Hello and welcome once again to the hashtag Facts Matter podcast brought to you by the Citizens Research Council of Michigan. I'm Guy Gordon. When we were up at Mackinac, Eric Lufer and I, the president of CRC, we heard a lot of discussion. It was almost like a four-alarm discussion about the state of affairs in the state of Michigan in terms of educational attainment, real income, household income, family net worth, population growth, you name it. We were in the bottom third or lower. Joining us today is Madhu Anderson with her Path to Prosperity paper that looks at this and takes a very novel approach. Madhu, our Senior Research Associate for Local Affairs, thanks for joining us.
Nice to be here, Guy.
So I want to just throw some data points at you that came out of Mackinac. Population growth, Michigan's 49th. Per capita income, 40th. Total job growth, 43rd. Annual unemployment rate, we're 46th. Population with a college degree, a bit better. We're 33rd, but still in the bottom third. Have we reached an inflection point in the state of Michigan where maybe we're no longer ignoring this?
I hope so. I think that the cry from all sorts of, very knowledgeable people about where Michigan is heading is taking root, and now we can get to some solutions because it's something that we need to work on, or other states will pass us by.
Now, every time we get a new governor, we get a new strategy for prosperity. They put together their blue ribbon panels. We had the 21st Century Project with Governor Snyder. We had a kind of a patchwork quilt of proposals from the Granholm administration, including cool cities and other things, and then growing Michigan together from Governor Whitmer, which was, I think it was led by one of our most conservative Republicans in the state, John Ricolta, and it was a very, very comprehensive and very diverse group of people. And we've seen virtually nothing undertaken by them. So all of these were kind of a top-down approach, or at least having a statewide strategy. In your Pathway to Prosperity paper, you take a different approach. Kind of lay that out, because it's more about that everything is local.
Right.
As Tip O'Neill once said.
Right. Everything is local. I think it's wonderful to have an overall strategy. You have to have a direction. We do this in business. We do this in government. You have to have an overall strategy and goals of where you want to be. And so
right,
I think
good tax environment,
exactly.
Good business climate.
This is where we want to go. We want higher educational attainment. We want a skilled workforce. We want people to move here. We want people to stay here. We want families to grow here. And we want communities to thrive. But to do that, that is really those things are very local issues. And by taking a broad brush and telling locals, we'll do this, and this is what we're going to support, doesn't always work, because every locality has a different personality, culture, population, in economic climate. And so what's really interesting is that if we should look at this from, let's set our broad goals. Let's help those local communities do what's best for them so that they can grow. And what's really wonderful is we have this they call it a lab at Harvard University that's done some amazing work with data from the census and from the IRS, and they pulled it together in a way that's manageable, that we as policymakers could use to analyze what the problems are.
Well, it leverages some social media context too, doesn't it?
Yes.
Which we haven't seen that before, but that could be a really positive tool, because people do offer a lot about their lives and what's happening or what's not happening in their lives through social media.
Right. It's a little weird, I will say, using social media data in this way, but it shows that social connections and the ability in your community to reach people that are doing things that you aspire to, like if you're a child and you want to aspire to something else, that social attraction can really help build up and give you some incentive to do some things to grow and get resources around you. So if you do all those things together, it's not just one thing. It's a package that will help a community grow.
So you mentioned these new tools that we had courtesy of Harvard University. One of them called the Opportunity Atlas, the other one called the Social Capital Atlas.
Yes.
What would they do, and how could we leverage them?
Yeah, this Opportunity Atlas I think is terrific. It looked at data over a long period of time of a generation. So it put it in a geographical place. So for example, we could take areas such as Marquette versus Detroit and see how their graduation rates have changed over a generation, how their college graduation rates have changed, how their household income has changed. So they could follow an individual that grew up in Marquette and see how their household income changed over time. And all of this, of course, is anonymized data, so there's no tracking individuals, but that helps us see in different income classes how they grow. And one of the fascinating things is that Grand Rapids in the country was one of the fifth in growing personal income for that generation. And so Grand Rapids is maybe doing something right. Wouldn't it be great if we could share that with other communities to see what kind of strategies they're doing to help other places? And that's what I think we can do.
Well, there's also this presumption that locals know what their problems and there are better, and that may be true, but this gives you some data that maybe is more granular and more precise to understand your issues better on a local basis.
Right. We can confirm by neighborhood, literally, what that neighborhood has been doing. And that's what's fascinating. I mean, we have this opportunity to use all this data, which is great at this time and age. So we have all this data to use it to do something that will help those communities grow and prosper, because we build, if Grand Rapids prospers, if Detroit prospers, if Saginaw prospers, Marquette prospers, then the whole state prospers.
And we should note that these tools not only allow you to get a better snapshot of where you are in your moment, but they also can optimize historical data.
Yes. Yeah.
The one thing that came away from your paper with the Grand Rapids showcase was that there's kind of this idea that, well, this is a big ship and it's going to be hard to turn it around. Grand Rapids made progress fairly rapidly. No pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I just got that pun.
Most of mine work that way, Madhu.
Yeah, it was within 35 years. I mean, it's amazing. They were able to take individuals, and their personal income grew very quickly. So what did Grand Rapids do? And one of the ideas may be looking at, they have a Neighborhoods of Focus program where they are consciously involving the community members overall and helping other community members grow. It could be public finance expertise, it could be literacy, it could be just being around someone who's built a business, and you can get that kind of mentorship and things like that.
So I think that's a very hopeful narrative. What happened in Grand Rapids is that this turnaround can be quite quick. We've got a problem though, and it may be cultural. It certainly is historic, because we've been talking about it for the 30 years that I've been in the business, which is this idea that higher education investment yields better income outcomes for families and individuals. Seems so basic, and yet it's not resonating with a majority of average Michigan citizens and Michigan residents. How do we break that I mean, these tools are great, but if there's this horse to water problem,
Yeah.
how do we leverage those things?
I think you have to show them that it's going to work. So whether it's a 4-year college degree or an apprenticeship program or some sort of skill building program that will help someone raise their potential for income over the long term is really important. But you have to show them that it works, because they're making an investment as an individual in either in cost and time to get that education. And it's working in some places. I looked at Marquette, and they have a high graduation rate, high college graduation rate relative to others.
Right.
So what is it in Marquette that's encouraging people to stay in school? They obviously see something like that. And so that would be something to look at.
Because when you have snow up to your neck 6 months out of the year, Madhu, there's not a lot of other things you can do. You might as well
do it. It's too cold out there.
Crack a book and study. But you're right, and some of these neighborhoods, some of these local communities have done a better job of addressing that to others. So how powerful are these tools to addressing specific needs and challenges?
What these tools will do will help us identify where those challenges are and which specific challenges are needed in that particular area. They won't provide the solutions, but they are. What I think would be great is to have the state of Michigan provide a place where this analysis could occur, and local governments could use that information to help their own individual communities find programs. So
how novel is this approach? And have we seen, we've seen Grand Rapids do what they do well, but have we seen it used in a broader state context where the state has come in and said, here's what we really think we ought to do, and we want your buy-in for that?
I haven't seen it personally, but I think that that's something that would be worth trying. I mean, obviously what we're doing is not working, so we might as well try something else. I think that's by making sure that our local governments and our local communities have access to analysis and information that can help them make the best decisions is really important. So by giving them what they need to make those decisions, I think is the real goal here.
So who would be the best end users of this data? Would it be a school superintendent and the elected board? Would it be a county executive? Is it all of the above? But I mean, who would benefit the most at the local level from this?
I think it would be a school district superintendent, and I would say it would be their broader organization or community organizations that might look at what is the best type of program that this area could offer. You will need to get community buy-in to do some of these programs. So it would have to be some group or entity that would be able to pull those groups together and move something forward locally.
Okay. Any last thoughts?
No, thank you.
About this path?
No, I hope that we use this information. We've all been submitting it for, decades, each one of us, but using this information and having this tool available to us can really help us choose where to really target our best efforts so that we can lift everyone up.
And I should ask you, are these tools free, or would the data collection have to be in some way funded at the local level to do this?
Data's already there. It's already collected.
So it's just accessing it. I mean, would Harvard provide a navigator to help local officials cull through this information?
I probably. I think that you can just access it on the web right now. You don't need anyone. You can manipulate the information and choose which kinds of graphs and data you want for how long you want it. And it's they did it in conjunction with the Census Bureau. So The data is public data. It's publicly available data, so you can use it.
And as you point out, it's not only identifying your problems, but it could also identify other communities that are doing some things where you've seen progress, maybe not, that they didn't use these tools perhaps to reach that outcome, but they have been doing things organically the right way.
Right.
And you can leverage that as well as something that you can hijack, for lack of a better word to use, in your community.
We can share best practices and strategies that work at the local level between local communities, and this is a way to do that.
All right. You can read Madhu Anderson's Full Path to Prosperity paper, say that after a few cups of coffee, at crcmish.org. Madhu, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, that's the Facts Matter podcast for this time around. Thanks for joining us. And as always, we invite you to check out our webpage, crcmish.org. There is an opportunity to donate there if this kind of information and this kind of fact-based analysis of ballot questions, budgets, and other elements of state and local government are helpful to you. Until next time, I'm Guy Gordon. Take care.
Thanks.
The Citizens Research Council of Michigan has been providing lawmakers, academics, the media, philanthropists, business leaders, voters, and all Michiganders with factual, unbiased, independent information on significant issues concerning state and local government organization and finance. For over a century, our research is available to you. Go online at crcmish.org and on all the social media platforms, Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and download our research. Check out our numerous papers and blogs, and listen to our podcasts. And while you're there, please consider supporting our research with a donation. This has been a Facts Matter podcast, a presentation of the Citizens Research Council of Michigan.